If it's undercovered, underreported, or a waste of time, you can be sure we'll be heard. Nothing is off limits.
Welcome to Broad Street Radio.
Welcome to Broad Street Radio. I'm Michael Morris. With me is my good buddy Nathan Schoner on the ones and twos in the back. Nate, how are you?
Good.
Perfect. That guy's electric. And speaking of electric, one of my favorite people to talk to, maybe not in general, but at least on the show, Kendra Carter. Kendra, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk to you about this because you and I have had many discussions about real estate and the economy. And I think, was it around last Christmas we had her on, and she said, I don't know if I can buy my kids Christmas. How did that work out? We just need an update on that. A half an hour update on your Christmas last year.
We did do Christmas.
Okay.
Scooters. No, it was a good Christmas. Because it was last year already that the shipping containers.
Yeah.
That whole thing was a year ago.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and things have changed. So we're not going to have Christmas again. Well, we did have Christmas last year, but this year we might not. Your thoughts on canceling Christmas as a country? How do you feel about that? Do you think we should do it? I feel like you're leaning that direction. No, I'm really fine. I just, I can't believe it's been a year already and we're still in the same spot. So last year we afforded Christmas and we made it work, but this year I feel like it's going to be harder than last year. Well, I was, as you always say, as a mom and a Christian rock listener, I want to get your take on it because you're also in real estate and the models that they're showing for. So the recession, people say we're in a recession now, but some people say we're not. Well, okay, that's what I want to get into. Is you're feeling because you're out on the street every single day. I didn't mean to make it sound like you were a realtor. I meant to say like you're a prostitute. What I'm saying is you're out talking to different people every single day, especially people that are buying homes or selling homes. Like, what's the impression you're getting from them? How do they feel about just life in general? Does it ever come up to where they're like, I really want this house, but I don't know if I can afford it? Or it doesn't come up. I feel like my job as a realtor is very compartmentalized aside from life. I do have relationships with some of my clients, and certainly the financial side is important, but I really do keep in my scope, and I have lenders that do that piece. But that doesn't mean that I haven't noticed less people are buying homes in the last 3 months. So the direct answer to your question is no, clients haven't come to me and said, I can't afford a house, but the housing market is slowing down a little bit, which is reflective of interest rates going up and buying power being less because interest rates are higher. Right. Which freaking sucks. That's what I was going to ask because I've heard both ends. I've heard we know someone that does the actual mortgage part in a group that we're in. And I've heard you guys have varying conversations about, is the market hot? Is it slowing down? And then we have our title guy, who's a good friend of ours, who literally calls me every day because he's like, hey, man, I have nothing to do. You want to go to lunch? Really? So, yeah, he said that they are down. I won't say the number, but we'll just say by the end of the year, it could be close to $100,000. Yeah. So, and I should add this in. Titles are not $2,000 and $3,000. It takes a lot to lose $10,000 in revenue. Yeah, it's crazy. I had a house sit on the market for 45 days and it had 43 showings and no offers. Thankfully, they did get in contract. It was a great house. And then I had another house that sold on the second day in a higher price range that they were financing. So it's really interesting. Great houses in higher ranked school districts or in certain areas are going really fast. And on the flip side, they can go really fast. It's kind of no rhyme or reason right now that I'm seeing anyways, but it has slowed down in the grand scheme of things. How far out do you look? Because I know you're busy every single day, but how far out do you look and say, because I think it was Forbes put out an article and the government was putting out some articles. Like I think it was Forbes put out the top 25 places that the real estate market would fall by 25% or more
Now, Columbus is not in there. Actually, it wasn't anywhere in Ohio, but it was like Nashville, Fort Worth, very heavily populated places where people want to move, like Charlotte or that. These were expanding areas, and now all of a sudden they're seeing it's going to fall off. How far out do you guys look at that stuff? Like as a realtor?
Not far out at all. I've spoken to this on this show before. There are a few agents at my brokerage that really jive with economy charts and all the things. And I read them and I follow them. But at the same time, staying in a hyper local market at Central Ohio, even like I've had listings in Huntsville, Springfield, Akron, all the corners of Ohio rather. But Central Ohio is all that really matters in terms of my sphere and my predictions.
And America.
And America. Okay. No, because some
markets, I was trying to build you up. I thought you were going somewhere. It's very patriotic.
I mean, there are YouTube channels out there, Chicago and California housing market. It could be a buyer's market in other places.
She must watch Meet Kevin.
No, I've never seen that show.
Oh, Nate and I talk about Meet Kevin all the time.
What's Meet Kevin?
Oh, by all the time, you mean like twice in 3 months?
No. So he has a YouTube show. I wouldn't call it a show. It's
more focused on the stock market, but then he does.
But he also he would flip houses, right? That's how he built his wealth, flipping houses in California or something. But what I hate, as I was telling him, is every thumbnail on his channel is it's doom and gloom. This guy is falling. Meanwhile, I kind of feel like it's like people that are on the stock channels about the stock market. They're still buying the thing. They're telling you not to buy it. Rate goes down and then I'm buying it. And I think, I don't know where this economy is going to go. I just know if I was going to buy a house, I wouldn't do it now. I'd wait until March or April of next year.
I wish you would have told me that before we came on the show, because I would not have come today.
Because you thought I was going to buy a house?
No, because that's
if you
not
want me to buy
the
a house, I'll
message
feel
I want
better.
to put out there.
I said what I'm saying.
I know,
as
but
America, that's what I'm saying.
I don't want people to know what you would do, because that's not what you should do.
Who do you think listens to what he says?
Do you think anyone's ever listened to what I have to say? I said my opinion. I'm asking your opinion.
So
that'll be wrong.
What I said this morning at the meeting you and I attended was that, like funeral homes and hospitals,
that's where I'd move.
People get sick and people die, and they have to have those places. In real estate, people still need to buy houses and people still need to sell houses. Those are the kinds of people that should be buying and selling right now. If you just
people that are dying.
No, not
I did not understand that. I was like, if you're dying, sell today.
No. Well, I mean, you can call me. I do work with estate sales.
I'm in wing 7. Come here. I'm dead.
No. In hospitals are never going to be affected by, they will be affected by pandemics and epidemics, but inflation is not going to hurt funeral homes or hospitals.
Right.
Yeah.
That was my point. There is a slight decrease in the market right now, and to your percentage, 25%. The problem when looking at those metrics are that the last 2 years have been skyrocketed higher than ever. Right. So of course we're going to be lower than
Wasn't
that.
it up like 33 or 38% at some point?
I don't know. It was a lot.
First of all, that's a great statistic. It was up a lot. You were so confident about, like, you thought I was just going to move on. Like, anyway, yeah. So go ahead. No, what I'm backing up what you're saying.
Most people right now that are coming to me to buy or sell have to. Or their rent has gone up over $2,000 for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,000 square foot. They can get a smaller monthly mortgage payment than paying that rent. So my point in all of that was, now is not necessarily the time for Susie to be like, I really don't like the kitchen cabinets, so let's buy a new house. Whereas 2 years ago, that would have been really fun to go out and look at houses because they were priced really well and the interest rates were low. Now is more like necessity until inflation lowers a bit and the interest rates go down.
Which won't happen for a long time.
Well, there are some lenders that are also doing guaranteed refi programs. So actually one called me on the way over here, and you get your loan, and for up to 5 years, they will guarantee a refinance with no lender costs. The only costs that you have to pay are your title fees.
And we could give that to Scott
Yeah.
if he makes it that long.
Yeah. He just called me.
Is that who told you that? Oh, okay.
No, he just called. He literally just called. But
call him and hang up and say we're doing a show.
I was going to pick up, but.
Oh, if it was Scott, you totally should have, because he'd be like, why wasn't I invited? Put it right by the microphone. Click. I'm not trying to be, I'm trying to understand it from people that actually have boots on the ground. So I'm not trying to be negative about it. I'm saying what these reports keep coming out. And then as I said to Nate the other day, I can tell you every single day we're going to go into a economic downturn. I can say it every single day. At some point I will be right. And that's what I feel is happening. I do feel, as I said, when we did the show, 2 years ago, whatever it was during the end of the pandemic. I said that houses they were so inflated because everybody could buy whatever they wanted. It was going to fall. What I'm more curious about is how many people are in a situation they have to sell. Like, are you seeing that yet? I wouldn't think you would see that yet, but I think next year you're going to see some people that are like, I'm over leveraged here.
I haven't seen it yet. And I think the big picture of this conversation is, if you are someone that puts heavy weight on the YouTubes, what's it called? Ask Kevin, or what was your
Meet Kevin.
Whatever it is, or these economists, only put your faith in what is local to our market, Columbus, Ohio, because any other data from different areas, different locations is not going to be a direct correlation. You can't compare us with Arizona or Colorado because they're experiencing a totally different market than we have.
I'm going to keep comparing us to Arizona just because you said I can't.
I've never been there. My friend's there right now.
You're getting off topic. What I want to talk about is, did you get kicked out of a local town over a photography thing?
I don't want to talk about that.
You don't want to talk about that? I just want to point out that Kendra will do business in everywhere except one town. How long have you been in real estate? A few years now, right?
3.5.
Okay. The all-time best situation for you was what? Was it during the pandemic because people had time to learn?
Now
is the best time?
I had my biggest closing months in volume, 1.3 million.
And you make 60% on that?
I'm
totally kidding. People always think that, like, when they're writing me a check for what I do, they think they're writing me, like, I get that check, that I don't send it anywhere. So, like, we're paying you too much. I'm like, you're paying radio stations and TV stations. You're not paying me this. I just always like to, like, pick.
Yeah, it is always interesting. I had a listing appointment several months back, and the amount for the realtor fees, which I did explain it to him. When you put the amount, it's split for a buyer's agent and a seller's agent. Well, he called me and he said, I can't believe I'm paying you this much. And I thought to myself, well, first of all, you're not paying me that much. Second of all, I'm not getting that. Third of all, there's all the other things, but
if you would have got to 5, I would have been so impressed.
To what?
To 5th of all. It seemed like you were like on a roll.
There was 5th of all.
There's
11th
of all.
There's royalties. There's my partner. There's healthcare. There's
you get healthcare.
No, we don't. So that's what I have to pay.
Why, if I'm buying a house, do I care if you got healthcare?
You shouldn't. You shouldn't at all.
You should unionize.
In fact, that's the reason you shouldn't buy a house right now. Because you said it's because of interest rates and the economy, but it's because you don't want to help me pay for healthcare.
I should be honest about why I brought you here. I want no one to buy a house from you. That's not the point of what I was saying. I am trying to help you.
This whole episode.
I am trying to help you. That's my question is that I think there's so many people that do not understand real estate to begin with. And they watch television or they're on Facebook news feed and they're like, well, now's not the time to buy a house. I always find that like now's not the time to buy stocks as the market's falling apart. That's also incorrect. When the market is falling, you can buy things at a cheaper price and you get value out of it if you're going to keep it for 5 to 10 years, right? Isn't a house almost like buying a stock?
Yeah. I mean, there are a ton of, Instagram memes out there right now that say you won't buy a house because the interest rate is 6%, but you're paying your credit card with 24% interest.
That's totally different. I need Call of Duty.
And sometimes when I respond to those, like mentally, because, I don't respond on Instagram. I mean, I could, but it's obviously a larger price point. I mean, you might be paying 24% interest on $7,000 versus 6.7% interest on $400,000.
I bought my house and put it on a credit card. 300,000.
I don't think you
29% interest. That's how I roll. I don't care.
Think you can do that.
Yeah. I don't have health care though. I do agree. I do think that people are not, that is like the largest purchase you're ever going to make. Right. What bothered me is the people I was talking to that were buying houses. It was like, yeah, it's not perfect, but we got to buy it because it's been on the market for 2 days and I don't want to lose it. And I felt like, but there'll be another one. Unless it is your ultimate dream house, you're going to stay there 30 years. I don't understand what the rush was. And I'm not saying real estate people did that. I'm just saying I felt like there was this immense push. I got to get a house.
Yeah, it was really crazy. I don't know what seasoned agent enjoyed the last 2 years in real estate.
Other than the money.
I mean,
the money had to be good, but you're putting up, I feel like the times you make the most money, I don't care what you do, is when you're annoyed as shit with everything. Like if one more client called me today, I would just quit this business. Doesn't matter what paycheck you're getting, any of that stuff. That's the way I always felt about it. But
I have had more closings in the last 3 months than I did this time last year. And with less people in the market, I'm still finding actually greater traction for the types of clients that are drawn to work with me anyway.
What do you think that is?
Because during the last 2 years, I wasn't on that side of the table where I was like, oh my God, it's day 2 on the market. Let's just put an offer in. I didn't do that.
So you're the honest realtor.
I'm the honest realtor.
That should be a billboard. No, we're not going to do that shit.
Speaking of billboard.
Yeah, go on. Let's talk about that. I'm so excited to get your billboard up. Can you make 9 more goddamn changes to it before you put it up?
Dude, the GDs.
Don't look at the camera. Look at me. I'm sorry. May Allah forgive me for saying
what
that.
What is our, all
Kendra
agents are not equal.
All agents are also not eagles. That would have been the best. Just have a big bird up there. Patriotism. Wow. It's going to be Kendra. Actually, they can find you on Instagram at KendraSellsColumbus.com. Yeah.
But speaking of inflation.
Sure.
It was also the last podcast we did where I talked about lunch meat being $20.
Oh, that's right.
Do you really remember that? Because I mentioned that today too. And I mean, that's when your question about people buying houses and talking about not having enough money, they're not cross-populating in terms of those conversations with my folks buying and selling houses, but life is kind of crazy right now. I mean, I literally spent $20 on 1.8 pounds of ham and turkey. That's crazy.
Who are you feeding? The Ukraine army? Who buys that much?
1.8 pounds of lunch meat is not.
Are you eating that in one day?
No, my husband took it to work and it was gone in 4 days. I mean,
Was he gone for 4 days?
No.
Seeing his other family in Toronto? It'd be amazing if he was taking her groceries to feed his other family.
No, but it's expensive. And I think circling back to Christmas, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to do experiences for my children this year instead of gifts. So we'll see how that goes. Kids,
look, here's our house. You can see it from the outside. What experience are you doing?
We're going to Great Wolf Lodge.
Gosh.
Which last time we were there, an adult man pooped in the wave pool.
Oh, man.
I can't say GD, but she can say a man pooped in a wave pool?
Yes.
Wait, what is a wave pool?
A pool that has waves.
Oh, thank you.
And poop.
And poop, obviously.
Wait, was he supposed to be doing that?
No. No.
Oh, because you made it sound like, and if you pay extra, someone will deuce in here.
No, my son, we were talking about it in the car, and it was my husband and my son, and he said, "Mommy, when are we going back to Great Wolf Lodge?" So that's, he can't say wolf, and that
He's
was mean to me
21
to
years
say.
old, by the way.
And he said, "But Daniel won't go in the wave pool because somebody pooped in there, and that was disgusting."
Nice.
How did you know that? Did they call that out, or it was by you?
Oh, it was.
I'm asking too many questions.
I was not in the wave pool at the time, so we observed some netting and some scooping, and they evacuated.
Maybe it was a Snickers.
I don't think it was a Snickers.
I like
that's
that.
true.
I wasn't in there. You're blaming it on somebody else. I think it was you who did that.
No, but they had to evacuate it, and they dumped some chlorine, and they opened it back up less than 20 minutes later. So that's why my husband doesn't want
Sorry, I
to go
should
back
say
to the
that.
wave
This
pool.
segment brought to you by Great Wolf Lodge. Book your indoor toilet.
I don't think we're allowed to do that.
Oh, we're allowed to do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not allowed to go in the wave pool. Is that what you mean? God, that's terrible. What an experience you gave your children.
Well, I tried to get some money back at the front desk. I was like, so somebody pooped in the pool yesterday and we weren't allowed in the wave pool. And they were like, yeah, that happens. And I was like, how often does that happen?
Daily. It's the same guy.
So anyway, we're going there for my son's birthday and my birthday and one of our Christmas experiences.
Yipes. That sounds awful. But do you still feel like when you're seeing the retailers are cutting back, but they're ordering, does that worry you at all?
Wait, what?
So retailers like Walmart and Target, that was a great
Are they
reaction.
running out of
Wait,
stuff?
huh?
I didn't
No,
understand what you were saying either.
They are instead, so say they're going to order 1,000 of something. Now they're only going to order 700 of it because they're not sure that they're going to be able to sell it. So whatever that
Wise.
is,
That's wise.
right. But again, there's an inflation there that I only have 700 of these. So I'm going to charge whatever I want to charge. Right.
The
Because
turkey, the ham.
Right. So if I only have X amount, I'm still gonna charge you extra for this to make up for the revenue I'm gonna lose on not ordering the rest of it and selling it out. So retailers are doing that, and that's why I think Christmas time is gonna be I think this is gonna be the weirdest one since probably 2007, 2008.
I have no idea, and it hurts my brain to even think about. It's so sad. I mean, there was something on the news the other day, even Halloween candy all was up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just don't know how families are able to like make it work. I mean, it's gross. It's really bad.
You mean it's gross and not net, or it's just disgusting?
It's what?
Is it gross or net or disgusting?
Disgusting.
Okay.
It's sad.
You were reaching a little bit for that joke, but
It's sad.
It wasn't a joke. It was a statement of fact. It is sad, but what I worry about is not the end of 2022. It's what's 2023 look like. And I don't, to me, I want everybody to win. I want everybody to be happy. I don't think we're headed there because the economy is still going to have to go bust at some point for it to, if it fails, it has a chance to come back. If we keep pushing this down the line so it doesn't bust in a certain year or midterms or whatever, at some point it's going to bust and it'll be worse the farther off you push it. It's like a bankruptcy. Do you want to file it today or do you want to wait till it's 6 months later and you're getting all the phone calls and letters and all that and the legal procedures?
I know we're running out of time, but I think some of the stuff that I don't understand is, I know we're not trying to get political, but I don't understand how some people are like not seeing what's happening with the economy.
Because
Or like-
their belief that they're right outweighs, what is the truth. They want to believe that they made the right choice.
I think
it
the
was-
clinical term is denial.
Well, I think it goes beyond that because they're not defending the people in office. They're defending their decision. And that's where I think you get this derangement of, I don't want to admit that things were better the other way. Because that means if it comes up again, would I vote for Trump versus Biden or Trump versus anybody else? This country is a business and it's being operated as though it's an oligarchy. We can just hand out money to whoever. I mean, there was just a report that Biden's going to give $13.5 billion to those in need because if you're poor. How the hell is that going to work? Right? So your taxes are going to go up to fund this thing, and it's an endless printing machine. If you operate this business as a country, sorry, I said it actually the way I was thinking it. This country as a business, you're better off. We're running this thing as though we have endless amount of supplies, and we don't. God, this got to do it every time. This starts off so good, and then we get into like a sad territory, and I'm like, oh, this is bad. This is a perfect place to end it on depression. Thank you for coming today.
No
Nate,
turkey and ham for anyone. No Christmas for anyone. No wave pool.
If you
for
could
anyone.
put if you could just put some Sarah McLachlan music under this, some sad tunes. You've been listening to Broad Street Radio. See you next week.